Can I be very honest with you guys? The idea of personal branding absolutely intimidates me. It's out of my wheelhouse. It's just it's not something that I'm used to like thinking of myself as a brand. It's so there's some people that are very comfortable about talking about themselves. They're very out there. They can walk into any room and take charge of the room. There are people like that. So there's people that just like to do their own thing in their own corner, and not that they don't like acknowledgement, not that they don't like being rewarded or being, you know, platformed or whatever, but it's just more comfortable to be in your corner doing your own thing. And I feel like there's a couple of us that fall into this category, and I feel like not enough people are talking about it because most of us are probably not even putting ourselves out there. So if we are not putting ourselves out there, if we are not centering ourselves, then there's no way things like this will get talked about, because the people that are out there, the people that are putting themselves out there are already they're doing it. So there's no need to really be for them to be having this conversation. So I will talk about personal branding today from an introvert's perspective. So if you watched my Mysterious Girl Era video, I talked about why I decided to start taking personal branding seriously. So I've always known the importance of personal branding. Don't get me wrong, I dress women for a living, and I know the importance of having a community, having a platform. I know that even as an entrepreneur, it can open more doors for your business when you have a strong personal brand. I've seen people speak on global stages because they have a strong personal brand. Some people have gotten grants and opportunities because they have, not just because they have a personal brand, by the way, but that definitely helps. I find that these days, people want to connect to niche audiences, to smaller audiences. So when they support you, they're really leveraging your audience. So when they support you, it's not just you that they're supporting, they're also supporting the community of people behind you, and that way it justifies that support of you, if that makes any sense. So as an introverted founder, how do we put ourselves out there? So before I go into that, I just want to say a couple things. I want to rein these things in for you as an introverted founder to really, really think about. So first of all, I want to tell you that there are people that are out there, they're not doing the work, but because their voices are loud, they're getting all the opportunities. They're the ones that people remember their names in rooms because they are visible. There are people that, so that's one. So there are people that are out there, they're putting themselves out there and they're getting opportunities just because they're visible. Then two, there's no one that is going to be a bigger evangelist, a bigger spokesperson than you, the creator of whatever you're doing. So whether you're a skincare brand, a makeup brand, a hair brand, clothes brand, whatever you're creating, no one is going to be a bigger spokesperson, well, aside from the person that you pay to speak. And even then, even when you pay someone to speak on behalf of your brand, it's not the same thing. There's a tweet that I saw from Abiola, who's like a marketing expert, and she mentions like the pros and the cons of um, paying someone to be a spokesperson for your brand and you being the spokesperson of your brand. Like there's pros and cons, and I think I'll look for it and put it on the screen if I find it. So no one has a bigger stake than you, who's the founder of the company. No one is going to push as much as you. No one is going to, no one's going to speak on behalf of your brand more than you. So just bearing that in mind, and you're taking a back seat, just think about like missed opportunities, missed customers, missed revenue, missed money to be made just because you don't feel like anyone wants to hear what you want to say, or you don't feel like you can really add value. So mention two things now. I said there are people out there that are visible and they're getting all the opportunities because they are. Mention that no one is going to be a bigger spokesperson for your brand than you. Then the third thing is, why are you like putting yourself out there? I'm not saying this from like a judgment perspective. I want us to just like have a conversation, like girl to girl, founder to founder. Why are you not putting yourself out there? And this video is almost like my own way of breaking out, because I've also decided, like I said, I'm starting my own personal brand journey, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Like there's there's no, I don't have any like strategy. I don't have any like proper plan yet. So as I develop it, I will share with you. So let's talk about the reasons why you don't want to put yourself out there. I think for me, first of all, there's the fear of fringe, the fear of cringe. And my fear of being cringe, honestly, because I'm the person I'll be like, ick, like why is this person talking too much on the internet? But I've seen a lot of people that were cringe that have gone on to do amazing things. Like at the end of the day, like who cares? Like I think one misconception that a lot of us have is that people are paying like serious attention to us. And to be honest, sometimes like it feels like people are paying attention when they're always monitoring what you're doing and stuff. But I would say that no one is thinking about you like 24/7. Even your partner is not thinking about you 24/7, because other things are happening in life. There's so many things happening in this world. So you can't think that even if someone is thinking about you like daily, they're not spending 24 hours thinking about you. So just knowing that everyone is not thinking about you all the time, and then you're now scared of being cringe. Like if you, let's say you're even cringe, like that's like a moment in their day, and like that's one scroll among like hundreds of scroll like throughout that day. So why is that stopping you? Then another thing is you're afraid of like being judged, or you're afraid of being criticized. And let me tell you, this one is my serious fear, because I don't like people being in my business. Like I don't like it. And I think my nose is good. I think my eyes are good. I think my lips, I think I'm fearfully and wonderfully made by God. I think I'm beautiful. And I don't want people, like I see how people would like point out people's insecurities, like insecurity that you didn't even have can start because some yipa yapa on the internet that probably doesn't like themselves is talking nonsense in the comment section. So that's like one. Then I just feel like being open opens you like to, once you just put yourself out there, like everyone and their mamas can have anything to say about you, even though like they're not, like they have no like vested interest in you, because it's very easy to like type. People can just say nonsense. And then so these are things that, like, these are my struggles, like when I think about, oh, putting myself out there and everything. But when I start to think of like the upside, like, okay, if that happens, that happens. What are the upsides of having like a strong personal brand? And let me tell you, personal branding is something that a lot of people are taking seriously. Like, if you look at like someone like Dupe Olushola, she's the MD, she MD or CEO now, it skips my mind, of Transcorp. And for a long time she had like a private Instagram page, and she wasn't like really posting work stuff and like her journey and stuff, but she was growing. But the moment that she became is it CEO or MD, I'm sorry that I keep mixing, of Transcorp, they set up a personal Instagram for her, and that personal Instagram is helping her to even share more of what she's doing, because some people are like, okay, so what exactly is she doing? Oh, she's this beautiful woman, blah, blah, blah. But having that like page is helping her to document. And that's another thing, like, we women, we don't often talk about like our accomplishments and the things that we're doing. So just even having a space or a place where you're sharing the things that you're achieving. And I know so many women that are doing things that they're just doing it on the low, they're not talking about the things that they're doing. The thing is, when it comes the time to award someone, it's always the visible person that gets the accolades. So you just have to, like, even if you're not a founder, even if you're not an entrepreneur, like Dupe Olushola, for instance, is in the corporate world, she's advocating for herself by doing these things. Look at Bozoma. I love Bozoma because she's bold and she's showing herself. Like, most people know who she is. So people like Bozoma have put themselves out there, and they've been able to reap from the rewards of having a good personal brand, because it opens doors, it gives you opportunities to work with like your desired brands, desired companies. Like, aside from having her own personal brand, people are aware of the work that she has done, the companies that she's worked for. So you're not just like a cog in the machine. So just like Bozoma, just like Dupe Olushola, just like Tarafela Durotoye, who I watched for so long before, she was one of the women that, gave me inspiration to even like start a business, a legitimate business in Nigeria, because I hadn't really seen a lot of people launch businesses out of like the creative industry and really like build something that had structure and had substance. So it wasn't just the product that I was connecting to, it wasn't just the company, it was the woman behind it, because I saw a lot of interviews where she actually shared her journey. And it was actually one of my inspiration for starting this YouTube channel, because I just feel like if those watching those videos of our interviews online, and many other women as well, helped me so much in my journey, like, it only makes sense for me to pay it forward and have information and resources out there for people that look at my business and say, oh, I want to do that one day, or are in their journey of building their own businesses. So I want to just challenge you to think of personal branding in a different way from what you've been thinking about. So you might have been thinking about it from like, oh, I'm putting myself, or I'm being braggy, or I'm being loud. No, I need you to think about it from the perspective that someone out there needs to hear your story. Storytelling is a very, very good and powerful tool to help women. And historically, women have not been documented properly. So it is your own job as a woman that is doing something significant in this generation to document your journey. It will not only serve as like an historical marker for you, but it will also serve as a point of inspiration for different types of women to connect to, because guess what, every woman is different. Woman is not the same. There are different kinds of women, and different kinds of women will connect to different kinds of women. So there's room for all types of women to shine, because there will be someone exactly like you that you can inspire, and you can just, challenge to become a better version of themselves. So just think about your personal brand from that perspective. Think about all the women that you can connect to. Also, because women are often seen as one thing: oh, you're a mother, so you can't do this; oh, you're a wife, so you can't do this. It's so important for the women that are mothers, that are wives, that are that are wearing multiple hats, to actually show themselves. If you're the entrepreneur that loves to have fun, you love to go out, have a good time, there's one woman out there that loves those same things and is wondering, oh, can I be this type of person as well? If you're someone like me who's more introverted and on the reserved side, there are other women that are looking for other women that are like that too, that they can relate to and that they can connect to. So start to see your personal branding journey as just a way to be able to reach a demographic of people beyond your immediate demographic. It's a way for you to inspire people in the numbers, a way for you to show what you're doing and to be rewarded accordingly, a way for you to show your projects, to show all the amazing things that you're working on. So this is how I want us to be thinking about personal branding. So my fellow introvert founders, my fellow introverted founders, please, we are on a journey this 2024 together to build our personal brands. So I have no strategy, I have no particular plan about how I'm going to build my personal brand, but what I do know is I want it to be authentic. I don't want it to be like another person's personal brand. Then two, I want it to show like the things that I am doing. So it's a way to archive, document the things that I'm working on. Whether those things succeed or they don't succeed, it's just to share my journey of doing things. Then three, it's also a way to showcase my personality, for people to get to know me beyond like this narrative, like for me to own my own narrative and tell my own story. And finally, I'll just share that people buy from people. People buy from people. They don't necessarily buy from companies. They want to be able to connect. They want to be able to know what goes on behind the products that they're buying. So that's also another thing about personal branding. It just helps you to be able to connect to a wider audience for your existing product or company. And special shout out to introverted founders. If you're an introverted founder watching this video, then just say something in the comment section. It doesn't matter what you say. I just want to identify the fellow introvert founders in this community. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, what are you waiting for? Like a whole bunch of resources at your fingertips. Just make sure that you click the link below to subscribe to my mailing list. And that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found it enjoyable, make sure that you subscribe, you like all the good stuff. I'll see you in my next video.